Hello, Rachel and I are back. We're here to
Hey,
talk about the year I learned to fly today. We've got our books. Got book, we'll share, we'll chat. You know, the whole purpose of these recordings are to invite you in to fly. And we're talking to author Rachael Cannon, also author of Lambs and Lilies. But today we're going to talk about one of the musings in particular and really just chat about it. And so whether you are viewing this right away, like we're recording this in January of 24, and maybe you're watching this 10 years later, and you get to read the musing, you can hit pause and read it yourself, come back to the recording and just kind of join in your own heart with what we're talking about. And maybe you have totally different ideas, thoughts, or things that Jesus is sharing with you. And that's amazing. So put those in the comments. We'd love to hear what you have to say. So what are we doing today, Rachel?
we are talking about number 117 in the book, and the title of it is called Mobile River.
Oh, I love it.
Mobile River, like a moving river. As you remember, in the Old Testament, in Ezekiel, the river was on the outside, right? The river flowed from the throne of God on the outside, and you had to get in. But in the New Testament, the river flows from within. Remember in John, it says, if anybody's thirsty, let them come and drink. And when they drink, rivers of living water will flow from within them. They'll burst forth from within them. And so now, whereas in the Old Testament, you may have had to get in the river. Remember, Ezekiel went into his ankles at first, and then up to his knees. I think it's Ezekiel 37. Then up to his knees, and then up to his waist, and then way over his head, where he lost all control, right? But in the New Testament, because of Christ in us, now we have become a river of life.
That is amazing. I love it that you just jumped right into that.
Yeah, we are a river.
We are a mobile river.
We are a mobile river. We are teeming with life. You feel it?
I so feel it. And the funny thing is, if we're not feeling it, we just get in. We just realize we're in. It's there. We can feel it. And so we were talking about, before we hit record, we were talking about Matt Spinks. And I remember just on something that he talked about in one of his prayer meetings, he's just like, just shut your eyes and just feel it. You're in,
Wow.
you're in your tube. You're just floating. Everything is all right. You got your cool drink in one hand, you got your hat and shades, and you're just leaning back, soaking in the sun, floating down the river of life. Like, just float. And it may be raining in Houston and in Destin, or where, yeah, where,
Santa Rosa Beach.
Santa Rosa Beach. But it's sunny. We just don't see it today.
Yeah. Yep.
And we're floating. And so, yeah, same thing. And so that's us. Like, we're the mobile river. We all are partaking in that mobile river, where we're attuning to it or not.
Yeah. Yep. The rivers within now, is Christ is where God's dwelling. Christ is in me. That means his throne is inside of me, right? The kingdom is within. And so his throne is inside of me. Well, in the Old Testament and in the New Testament, it says out from under his throne, or out from his throne, has this river of life. It's teeming with life. And that's us. So if you want to know where the river is, hello.
Hello. All right, so I'm going to share really quick. Okay, before you told me like which one, let's do this one.
Yeah.
And what's today? Thursday. So no, Wednesday. Must have been on Sunday, as I'm spending quiet time and just in contemplation with Jesus.
Yeah.
And I'm just in that place where the river starts to come, it starts bubbling up, the fount starts to bubble. And all of a sudden, I just see gold. Okay, I see gold. And it's like there's these fountain heads, or almost like urns, if you will, kind of going into the source of water, but it's this long, long, narrow stream contained by golden walls leading to then the throne.
Wow.
And so it's that stream, because I'm looking up and I'm just like, the stream, everything about it, it was one, right? It was just this,
Oh, wow.
and then all flowing from underneath the throne. So that
Wow.
is so wild that you say that. So go ahead.
Yeah, I just love that. I've always loved water. Obviously, I live super close to the Gulf of Mexico, but I've always loved water. I mean, who doesn't love to look at the beach or at the lake or at a river? And there's this book called Blue Mind Theory. I don't know if you've ever heard of it or not, but Blue Mind Theory says that people who look at the water or live by the water, bless you, Lulu, that they actually are happier,
Yeah.
that they're happier. And so who doesn't love the water? And he is the living water. But the idea now is that all this is not external anymore. It's internal, like you're talking about, where we have this beautiful union with the river of life, where we are one with the river. Everywhere we go, the river goes.
And so shifting our mind to that, shifting our heart to the realization we're included in that. That's for us. That isn't just for a few select. That isn't just for the author of this that says, oh, look at me, I'm a mobile river. It's the
Yeah.
invitation of the discovery is, tell me if this is fitting for you, right?
Yeah.
It's that discovery. This is who I am. This is what exists in me. This is where I'm at. This is the place I get to live. And then from that, here's what it does. Here's what I get to experience. And then you know that the mobile river is you. You're the mobile river. It's in you. Christ
Yeah.
died once for all. We got it in us. Are we accessing the life that we have at hand? Not
Yeah.
every day, not all the time. Many
Yeah.
seasons we don't. But we get to speak it out. We get to share on here and we get to experience it and say, y'all, it's there. It's totally
Yeah.
there.
Here it is.
Here it is.
Yep.
Can I read your mobile river?
Yes.
Is that all right?
Please.
Or do you want to read it?
No, read it. Read it for us, Amy.
Okay. She is a mobile river, a floating fountain, a sailing spring. Her hair is like a white cloud, and it rains every time the wind blows. She drank and became a downpour. She drank and a river gushed within her. She is a calm, refreshing presence. She gave the perfumed waters of his love an opportunity to rinse her mind. She echoes his agape in innocence. She is his soulmate, and they have the same thoughts. They finish each other's sentences. Her river is teeming with life, and she feeds many. She is living water to all who meet her, and she irrigates dry souls and helps fruit grow. Oh my gosh. Okay, so if we go towards the top
Mm-hmm.
and the second line, her hair
Mm-hmm.
is like a white cloud and it rains every time the wind blows.
Yeah.
Tell me about that. What comes up?
So for me, when I wrote this, I was thinking of, I'm getting so emotional just thinking about it. I was thinking of how, it says that Jesus, his hair was white as wool, right? And so to me, when I think about that, I think, wow, he has woolly white hair. It's either a lamb, it could be a lamb's white wool, or it could be white like a cloud, a fluffy white cloud. and then it rains every time the wind blows. There's so many layers of meaning in that. And so one could be Isaiah 55, obviously, that God sends his word out like rain, and it accomplishes every single thing that it's the purpose, right? So it rains every time the wind blows. And obviously there's a reference also to Holy Spirit, the wind, our mama, right? So because his hair is like a white cloud, mine is too. And so wherever I go, just the slightest little wind, I'm sensitive. I'm aware that the wind blows. I am aware that I'm raining on people, right? I'm raining living water on people. I'm raining the word of life, right? Which is our Jesus, our living word. I'm raining living word on people, just being around them. And so it's almost an awareness of what you're doing, and are you going with the flow? You can go with the flow of, I say, people of the river go with the flow, but people of the wind also go with the flow, the wind flow. And so are you aware, are you sensitive of, I don't know, the wind blowing?
I love it. Yes. It reminds me a little bit also, Rachel, of Song of Solomon 4, chapter 4. And there's a reference there of your wind blowing upon me. Allow your winds to blow.
Oh, wow.
And so, and as you say, like we can choose to attune, we can train to attune, right? To
Mhm.
awareness of what is happening, what sensitivity to the spirit, or we
Yeah.
can shut it down. I've had seasons of I just shut it down, you shut it down, and then there's a fruit that comes of that. And then there's, which we'll get into in a little bit, but an awareness of the spirit's move, the breath, that ruach.
Yeah. And
That,
it's easy. It's effortless, as effortless as the wind blows. That's how easy it is. It's so simple. It's like my hair is a white cloud. I rain when the wind blows. It's not a question. It's not something that I have to do. It just happens. It's effortless because I'm a river.
right. It's not
And
a
so you
works.
have all the imagery too of how, almost like, I don't know what's called evaporation or something, where water will return to water, where rain will return to ocean, ocean will return to rain, right?
Evaporation and condensation. Yes.
Yes. Yep.
And it, like you say, it's an effortless ease. I remember a few years ago when God was speaking to me about go with the flow of the no.
Ooh.
Ooh, no. Trust the knowing. And I remember going, what? Trust the knowing. What do I know? No, trust what you know. Go in the flow
Oh,
of,
yeah. Oh man, that's a game changer right there. I can't tell you how many times I wish that I would have gone with my knower. Instead, I went with something else and ended
oh,
up in some crazy, crazy ass situations.
yeah, absolutely. I'm with you. You know, and they're different. Ours maybe just look a little different, or maybe one got caught and one didn't. I don't know.
Right. Yeah,
But
yeah,
that's the beauty of this gospel is it isn't about the guilt and shame and role of condemnation and improvement of self in order to earn the right. It's bring,
yeah,
it's done, and
yeah,
it's finished. And that has taken me a minute to settle in where it doesn't make my heart anxious.
yeah.
But the more we do, the more we reign.
The more we reign, and the easier, I feel like the easier life goes.
Yeah.
We might have contradictions or experiences that tend to contradict what we know. But it still seems to kind of just go with the flow. We're just going with this, with the wind.
I am fire, I am wind, I am spirit, I am free to be free, like Abba.
Yeah. It's super free, super free.
Super free. Super freak. Super freak. No, that's not what you said. Super free. I'm sorry. Um, I made a couple of notes on here and see if I can. She drank and became a downpour. She drank and a river gushed within her. Oh my gosh. Drinking habits.
Drinking. Oh, I love drinking. I've always been a lush. I was always a wino. I'm just a different kind of wino now. I always love to drink. I was thinking about that the other day and how great it is to wake up high and drunk and stoned every morning now without an inferior substance. It's not something that it's produced anymore. I wake up like this because I'm feasting on the substance. So it's legal. It's way far more legal than anything that I could ever try to produce on my own. And I was born like this. That's the crazy thing, the drugs and the alcohol or whatever else was a counterfeit to what I feel now. I was born to live like this. So drinking, man, whenever we get on topics about drinking, I'm like, woo, I feel you. I feel the drink. I feel living water stirring inside of me right now, bubbling and woo, just fizzing a little bit right now. And I just love living water. I love strong drink. I love fine wine, and I'm talking all spiritually, you know what I'm saying? But I'm a connoisseur. I'm a connoisseur of the good stuff. And to me, there's nothing like being so loved by God that you have to come out of ordinary terminology in order to find something that would just kind of speak of what it means, just a tad bit. And these words don't even give it really the volume of meaning, what it feels like to be so loved out of your mind. I woke up this morning and I just thought, I can hardly believe that I am God's temple. Like some of these they're not basic to me, they're life to me. But some of these life truths to me are, God lives in me. For God's sake, man, how can this be? How did you do this? And then me and him, we have this little conversation, and I'll just say, you know who I am, right? And you're living in me. And he's like, oh yeah, I'm in you. I'm in you. And it's in the best of way, but these life truths for me, there's about 4 of them that really just get me super wacky. And one of them is I'm so freaking loved by God. And the other one is that he lives in me, and that he really likes me. But dang, this morning, all I could think about, in my time this morning was, God, you're living inside of me, and that blows my mind. It just blows my mind. Therefore, I have become a mobile river.
Yes. A mobile river of expansion. He talked to me many years ago, 2017 to be exact. I'm expanding your capacity.
Wow. Yep.
Expanding your capacity, which is something, at the time meant nothing, but then I start to hear more and more of that. But when you hear the voice of God, you remember what he's saying and you
Yeah.
see the multifaceted meaning of those. And so it's that clearing the space of the lies, right? Like you say, you live in me. There was a time, there's no way, I didn't want you living in me. I didn't want to know that. It's like I think about in Luke 5, like we're doing in the mirror study,
Yeah.
and Peter saying, when you get the double load of fish, away from me, for I'm a sinful man, right?
Hmm.
And so we can internally do the same thing, push away. No, like you can't come closer to
Yeah.
because of the lie that we're believing, right? The hamartia, the 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 misunderstanding of our true blueprint of the indwelling presence of who we are, of that perfection, versus when we start to embrace it, and then he's like, now, like we get to work in partnership in this relational dance,
Yeah.
this whole perfect metanoia, right? Of flowing waters, of expanded wide open spaces, to just crazy laughter, to embraced in sorrow, to
Yeah.
seeing people as we're seen.
Yeah, the river is all inclusive. And to me, it brings so much compassion to see what people are going through in their lives with not understanding or not being aware that they are full of God too.
Yeah.
So it just gives so much more compassion. It gives humility. It gives honor, knowing that we are all in Christ. We're all co-seated in Christ together. It's just, oh, I'm
So
just so thankful for this. I'm so thankful for this message, Amy. Most mornings I can hardly even believe that it's true because it's so good what I'm hearing out of the Mirror Bible and from people like Patrick Emery, from people like Matt Spinks. My gosh, man, these people are revolutionaries.
absolutely. And just giving permission
Yeah,
to step into actual, it's like permission for freedom, permission for absolute life and joy without um logically trying to rationalize out all of our circumstances,
yeah,
past hurts, past pains, past experiences, and stepping into life and letting them heal that. It's like
yeah,
what we focus on, we empower. And so we get to go into life. Literally, like, I'm
yeah.
all about the Mirror Bible, but I also love New King James, and I love the AMP, and I love the Passion Translation. Those are just a few that come to my mind that I use often. And Song of Solomon, or Song of Songs, it is in the Passion Translation. Chapter 4 has a lot of overlap. Go check it out,
I
of things
will. Yeah.
did in 117. There's just reference to the
Wow.
stream and the brook and the water and the flow and the bubbling and then the wind. And so
Yeah.
it was not that I went looking for that, but as I'm in a season of a lot of difficulty right now in my
Yeah.
own personal life, Song of Songs is speaking to me and filling me a lot right now. And so I was just reading early morning
Yeah.
chapter 4, and I was like, had your particular musing on my mind, and I was like, whoa, there's some serious overlap here.
Wow, I love that. I read Song of Songs a lot, probably about 2 years ago. And then it was just amazing. I did a few small groups at my house with some ladies, and they would come over and we would read through it, and we would just it was amazing. It was just so much fun. We were just getting to know each other and getting lavished, kiss me with the kisses of your mouth, like over and over and over again, right?
My bride and my equal.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, Rachel, we could go on this. It's so much fun, but I think our hope is to maybe keep these in a bite size enough to encourage
Yeah.
people to go out and get the book, get a copy, and just open your heart and your mind and just drink with Rachel
Drink deep.
and
Yeah. Drink deep.
see what he has to show you about your life, your journey, and who he is in your life, and just dismantling everything that isn't love, that isn't
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah.
So if you want to know more about Rachel and what she's doing, you can check out her website and her Facebook. So why don't you give them the quick lowdown on that and your nonprofit? And if you want to support her, check out her website and go to her donate page as well. So give them those links if you would.
Thanks so much, Amy. It's deliveranceHouseMinistries.org. And then on Facebook, it's just Rachael Cannon. And I've kind of self-titled myself Saint Rachel of the Lamb. So if you're looking for me, right underneath my name, it'll say Saint Rachel of the Lamb.
Ah, very
Yep.
good. All right, this was fun, and we'll be back in a couple of weeks.
Thank you so much, Amy.
Yeah, you betcha. I'm gonna pause this. Oh, yeah.